Welcome to Reddit Tea Time. My male 27. Family wants me to break up with my girlfriend, female 22, after how she responded to my brother's, male 22, prank. Hi, Reddit. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. I know how the title sounds, but I could honestly use some outside perspective, since anyone else I could ask is biased towards the situation. I have been dating my girlfriend Lola for about 2 years now, and overall things have been great. My brother Ian has always been pretty weird whenever she comes up or is around. Ian and I are very close, talking to each other daily, but the conversation will usually change gears right as I start talking about anything Lola related. I thought maybe he was jealous of the time I was spending with her, or maybe a little crush on her. Still, whenever we'd get together, he'd make comments about our age gap, poke fun at me for simping, and joke about her sleep disorder. Ian's always enjoyed a good prank, either pranking or being pranked. He loves to laugh, and I genuinely believe that when he goes to prank people, he means it in a way to share the laughter. When he's tried to pull little pranks on Lola, though, he does things that he figured out triggers her disorder, like making sudden loud sounds, jumping out to scare her, and one time I caught him before he was going to do the shaving cream sleep bit while she was taking a nap in the guest room. I warned him in more detail then that he shouldn't mess with her while she's sleeping, as interrupting her regulated cycles isn't good for her, and at the absolute best, she's the worst kind of cranky when she's woken up. Ian looked like he understood, and I thought that was that. I threw a New Year's Eve party a few days ago and invited Ian and a bunch of mine and Lola's friends. Everyone was having a good time. My watch went off with the alarm that we set up for Lola to take a nap. She went off with a sleepy smile. I kept partying. A while later, we all heard a scream, followed soon after by cussing and something breaking. I panicked as it was from my room, where Lola was, and I ran through, nearly kicking the door down, to find she shoved someone down and was yelling at them. I looked to see who it was and saw a spider mask that I unfortunately recognized as Ian's from years ago. I saw him scrambling to get away, but she only stopped when 3 of her friends pushed past me to pull her up and check her before she ultimately passed out in their arms. Ian scrambled off the floor and ripped the mask off, revealing the work she'd managed to do in the time it took us to react. He started bawling, telling me that she was insane and abusive, that he only wanted to make sure she wasn't going to sleep through the ball drop. At this point, everyone started yelling. Ian looked terrified and kept repeating that she was crazy, and that I shouldn't be with someone who could do this to her boyfriend's brother. Some of my guys were yelling that if she did it to him, she could do it to me. All of her friends were screaming about how he should know to leave a sleeping girl alone and how it was creepy. Ian ended up calling our mom to tell her that Lola hurt him, and she's furious. Lola's friends ended up carrying her out against my protests, and my friends were nearly split down the middle. I remember standing there while everyone argued while the ball dropped, my mother calling me for the 10th time, and Lola finally texting me that she needs space to think. Since then, we've lightly texted. She's expressed that she can't shake her fear of what happened, but she still hasn't told me from her side what happened. Ian and my mom are trying to convince me to break up with her, and chastising me for not helping or standing up for my brother when he was being assaulted, and also demanding an apology for not playing my part as an older brother. Ian has FaceTimed a few other family members, and now my aunt, who paid for both our colleges and the house my mom and brother live in and helped me get my apartment, is taking the 3-hour drive up to make sure her boys are okay, which is stressing me out even more. On one hand, I know family is family, and I should do what I can to stand up for the people who helped raise me and become the person I am. On the other hand, Lola is my girlfriend. I adore her. I love her. I feel like I should be there to protect her. I don't want to push her boundaries, but not talking to her is a different kind of hurt. Ian is convinced that he was doing a well-intentioned prank and was wrongfully punished for wanting to make sure everyone was enjoying themselves. I don't know if I believe that, but I've known Ian for 22 years. Growing up, we were inseparable. I don't want to doubt him just because love may be blinding me. How do I approach the situation with Lola? How can I convince my family that Lola isn't a threat? She's honestly the most sweet and caring person. She just can't be woken up, and part of me feels like she was pushed to that point. Now, for some comments. You do realize that your brother knew full well the extent of her sleep impediment, knew she had triggers, and used them against her? Once you have explained to him why he can't do that and he keeps doing it, how can you defend him and try to act like he didn't have malicious intents? Of course he did. Or he just didn't care about anything other than to see her scared, no matter how it would scare and scar her. He is a jerk through and through. You should already be dumped, really. You found your brother in your girlfriend's room, her fighting him off, and you didn't even stand up for her. I wouldn't be surprised if you not doing anything and just freezing up is the final nail in the coffin for your relationship. Lola's friends have probably told her. He didn't even help you. 1,000,000 times by now. Your brother is an a-hole at best and a potential rapist at worst. Your brother shouldn't have been in your room when your girlfriend was sleeping there alone. He must have done something to her to scare her and hurt him. Sleeping people don't just wake up and start attacking people unless they felt they are in danger. So ask your girlfriend calmly what really had happened. Also, it is strange that your brother was wearing a mask at the time of the incidents. What was he trying to do to her? Whether your relationship survives or not, it is good to find out what kind of person your brother really is. Ask yourself this. If it was any other guy and not your brother creeping into your bedroom, wearing a mask whilst your girlfriend was asleep, what would you have done? Your brother is so in the wrong here, I would be pressing charges. My 30 female, ex-husband, 36 male, wants me to be a surrogate for him and his girlfriend because her body is too perfect to ruin. A few months ago, I made a post about my ex-husband. Since then, we have had little to no communication, except through a third party, because we have a daughter together. He does absolutely nothing for her. He asked for full custody because he didn't want to pay child support. I finally got him to agree to supervised visits and 0 child support. The last 3 months I haven't spoken a word to him, and he hasn't seen our daughter. But recently he's been telling me about his hot 18-year-old girlfriend. The reason why he told me is because we agreed to tell each other about our relationship, since the person would interact with our daughter. But he's always accidentally sending me nudes of bikini pictures of her, or accidentally sending me messages meant for her. The other day he told me that he wants to have a baby with her. He's irresponsible and she's immature, so they would make horrible parents. But he wants me to carry their child. Why? Because her teenage body is so hot and sexy, and that I'm old and used. I have no idea why he would even ask me. Why is he telling me about her body? Why does he want me involved in any sort of way? It's all so weird. Now for some comments. It's only January 1st, but I can confidently say he will win the 2024 prize for sheer audacity. I would not dignify that request with a response. Ignore it. I would not even think about it. They probably sent it together to wind you up. Get him to confirm this request over text. Then take him to court for full custody of your daughter, all the child support, and block him. Why did you agree to no child support? Please get what you are owed and cut him out of your life. What a disgusting pig. F that guy. Seriously, go back to court, get child support, and a protection order for yourself and your daughter. If he can have a baby with an 18-year-old, he can support his daughter. The fact that he's 36 and wants to have a baby with someone who is barely legal makes me ill. I, 26 female, want to dump my boyfriend, 31 male, after what he said about my family. I have been dating my boyfriend for the past 3 years and we've had a lot of stupid petty arguments, but I really don't think I can forgive this one. My dad, 76 male, has been in the hospital the past 2 weeks because his appendix burst, which led to sepsis, and we honest to God thought he wasn't going to make it for the first week or so. But he is getting better. My half-brother, 55 male, came down from like 7 states away to come help him out. Obviously, the past 2 weeks have been hectic for me, and I haven't been able to spend a lot of time with my boyfriend. I could see he was getting lonely and kept asking him to come to dinner with us, and he kept saying he didn't want to, but finally came last night. He met my brother and brother's wife, 50 female, and they all had a good time. They bought him food, etc. Me and my boyfriend went back to his place from there, where he immediately started acting off. This went on until I went to go to the hospital to see my dad this morning, and my boyfriend got mad. He accused me of making up that my dad was in the hospital, and that my brother wasn't really my brother and some guy that I'm sleeping with on the side. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? And he was like, that guy is way too old to be your brother, even though I've already explained my dad had me way later in life. He then told me it's okay for him to accuse me of cheating on him because his ex-wife cheated on him and he has trauma. And I get it, but he has refused to see a therapist for that, and I don't feel it's my trauma to heal. And obviously I feel bad about not spending a lot of time with him, but honestly, my dad who almost died is the priority right now. He's accused me of sleeping with random guys before, but my own brother? Especially when he knows my dad is sick as F in the hospital? It's honestly low-key unforgivable to me. Should I tell him I'm dumping him when I see him tonight? Now for some comments. If this is real and not a troll, then you need to run for the hills. This guy is unhinged. Or dump him over text. You're busy. I'd go for text. Do not dump him face to face. He's jealous of the attention you're giving your dad and family, and he's injured by the attention you're getting and taking it away from him. There's a certain type of individual who behaves this way, and it's not someone you want to be in a relationship with. Send him a text saying, "Hey, I've got a lot going on right now, and this isn't the time for me to be in a relationship. I wish you all the best." Send it, and as soon as he's read it, block his number. Block him on everything else, too. If he can get to you, then he will, and I promise you he will be nice as pie and promise you the moon. Don't give him the chance. You don't need this right now, and any decent person would be supporting you. He's not a decent person, OP. Trust me on this. How can I, 35 male, stop resenting my wife, 34 female, about our child? We have been together for 8 years, married for 2.5 years, and we have an 8-month-old child. I love both my wife and child very much, but the child topic has always been a complicated one for us. We were almost breaking up at the beginning of our relationship because I said I never want children. She said back then that she doesn't necessarily want a child, but she doesn't want to completely close that chapter. She just wanted to have the possibility. We were madly in love, so I decided give this idea a chance. Over the years, I saw that my wife was not a child person. She's easily exhausted, easily irritated, and has little patience on a normal day. We are both career-driven people and identify with our jobs very much. She travels a lot, spontaneous TV interviews, etc. She loves every bit of it. When we started to have the child discussion again, I openly told her that I can't think of her as a mother because of the reasons I mentioned above. I told her that this would put a lot of strain on our relationship as well. She got angry and told me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Every day her desire to have a child increased, and I could see how sad she was getting, to the extent of sobbing when she thought of a life without a child. So I caved in. 8 months ago, our son was born, and I love him to an extent I can't describe, but unfortunately, whatever I predicted became true. It is always too much for my wife. I come home to an irritated, exhausted, and angry wife almost every day. She regularly calls me and asks me to leave work early because she can't handle it anymore. It's affecting my career very much, and my career goal is the only thing I want to achieve in my life very much. The rest of the things I can live without. I do home office once a week, and starting from today I'm taking 6 months off, paid leave, to stay at home with our child. I take care of our son at nights, we bottle feed, and go to work the next day completely done, so my wife can sleep at night to have energy for the next day. She often says she didn't think it would be this hard. She didn't imagine it so exhausting. She misses us time, and all these things make me resent her for putting us through this, for putting our child through it. I don't want to, but I can't help it because I could see all these things coming, and she didn't, or she did and chose to ignore it. Sorry for the long post, but I just need an advice how to go about this situation. I don't want us to fall apart because of this. Thank you for reading, and thank you in advance for your advice. Now, for some comments. You need a nanny. There's a reason professional childcare exists, and you and your wife are textbook examples of the kind of clientele that needs these services. Even just an occasional babysitter until your baby is old enough for daycare would help. No one can hope to do all the hands-on care a baby needs while still holding down a career. You're just expecting the impossible of yourselves. Is your wife a stay-at-home mom, or is she just on maternity leave? What were your plans for childcare after the child was born? It would seem that your wife returning to the workplace and hiring a nanny would be your best choice. The nanny's only job should be childcare, so I would also hire a housekeeper to come in once a week and do cleaning, bed changes, laundry, etc. This would alleviate a lot of these stresses, I would think. Your wife being too proud to accept help is not productive. I would have that conversation, and since this stress is affecting both of you, it needs to be a dual decision as to how to fix this. Leaving things as is not fixing the problem, so I would ask her if she says no to the nanny, what is her suggestion as to how this can be fixed? I would make it clear that continuing to soldier on is not an option for you. Maybe she should consider going back to work part-time while you're home over the next 6 months. She may thrive when she has a purpose outside of childcare. I wish you the best. Stay-at-home parenting is not the breeze many people mistake it for. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next Reddit story.